come November. Joining us now is Texas Congressman Mike McCaul, who serves on Foreign Affairs and Homeland Security. Congressman, maybe my civics is wrong, and I know you will correct me if it is wrong, but the Democrats have the House and the Senate and the White House, so why do they need your help to fix the immigration system?
Well, they don't, and you know that. And by the way, happy Easter, Trey. And yeah, I think look, look. This issue was fixed in the prior administration. I worked with President Trump's team to get the migrant protection protocols in place, remain in Mexico, and it worked. And it was stopping these. You know, if you have a true political asylum legitimate claim, you can get in, but about 85%, as you know, are not. And while they remain in Mexico, it stopped them from coming in. Then, you know, once they get in, it's catch and release all over again. And so they rescinded these policies from day one. They own this. And in terms of the midterm elections, they do own it. They can fix it, but they don't want to.
All right, Congressman, you live in a border state, the great state of Texas. For those of us who do not, who don't live with this on a daily basis, tell us how the border has deteriorated in the last year and a half to 2 years.
Well, you have, you know, almost, I don't know, estimates of 2 to 3 million that have come in under this administration. With Title 42 is going to be suspended in May, they're projecting 500,000 illegals coming in 5 weeks. You know, Trey, you're a federal prosecutor. I was too. You cannot sustain this. And not to mention the fentanyls coming in. We've seized enough to kill the entire population at the border 7 times over with fentanyls. It's killing our kids, you know, out there. Not to mention the criminals coming in. And the human trafficking phenomena. This is probably the biggest human trafficking event of our lifetime, and it didn't have to happen. And that's the saddest thing about the whole situation. I'm in a border state. We have to absorb all this, but I would argue that every state is a border state because they're not just staying in Texas. They're moving on to other states, and every state in the country is going to have to deal with this problem.
All right. That's your Homeland Security assignment. I want to switch to foreign affairs. The war in Eastern Europe is creating a generation of refugees. They're fleeing a genocide. I want you to listen to the president, then I'm going to get you to respond on the other side.
None of it should hinge on whether a dictator declares war and commits genocide in a half a world away.
Yes, I called it genocide because it's become clearer and clearer that Putin is just trying to wipe out the idea of even being able to be a Ukrainian.
What's your reaction to that, Congressman? I mean, a lot of people have been calling it a genocide pretty much since the war began. I mean, it's good that the president's using that word, but it's always been a genocide to some of us.
Well, of course. I mean, you know, Russia is trying to exterminate the Ukrainian people. I think most telling are we had the battle plans back last fall, and the intelligence showed, as you were on the Intel and Judiciary Committee, showed that hitting civilians was part of the plan, the battle plan, from day one. And so we saw the bombing of the maternal hospital and the woman who had her baby wheeled out, and they unfortunately didn't make it after that. The children, we could see from aerial satellites being bombed by the Russians. The bomb itself that went to the train station that had 4 of the children on it. This is not only genocide, but a war crime. And that's why my bill, the war crimes bill, passed the House floor, going to the Senate to call it what it is. And you know what? You're a federal prosecutor like me. We got to gather the evidence of the war crimes taking place right now and make sure that this is taken to an international tribunal where Mr. Putin and all of his cronies will be held responsible.
All right, I'm going to let you go with this question, Congressman. I mean, the Ukrainians are doing a phenomenal job playing defense, but at some point, there's a desire to play offense. Is there any appetite that you can detect in the Congress for sending offensive weapons, weapons that actually help Ukraine press the issue as opposed to just playing defense?
Oh, in the Congress, for sure. This is almost bipartisan. In the administration, I pleaded with them last November. I signed off on all the foreign military weapon sales. They held them up last November. They had to wait till after an invasion to make that happen. Now we're trying to catch up. When I was at the Polish-Ukrainian border several days ago, the one thing I saw that was very encouraging, Trey, were a lot of unmarked 18-wheel trucks moving in from Poland into Ukraine, carrying a lot of weapons. But they need the anti-aircraft. They need the anti-ship. The idea that the Ukrainians could down one of the biggest warships that Russia has in the Black Sea. I mean, who would have thought this? You know, we were told it'd be over in 4 days, and now they could actually win this war if we would properly equip them. I was with Secretary James Baker last night, spoke at his institute at Rice University, and we talked about what would Reagan do? You know what? And his response was, well, you know what? He would have done a lot more and a lot sooner.
I don't doubt it, and if anyone would know, it would be James Baker. Congressman, thank you for joining us. Happy Easter to you and your family. Look forward to visiting with you soon.
You too, Trey. Happy Easter.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.